There is one car in this picture. Can anyone see the one car in that picture? 13 years later, can anyone see the horse? New York City went from all horse, -1, to all cars. This is called a disruption. The clean disruption of energy and transportation will happen. It's inevitable. By 2030, essentially all energy is going to be solar. By 2030, all cars are going to be electric and are going to be autonomous or semi-autonomous.
We're in a global energy transition from dirty fossil fuel energy to low carbon renewable energy. And that transition is now inevitable. But what it looks like in 2030 and 2050 is entirely up for grabs. We're part of the biggest migration that's ever taken place from rural to urban areas. And that's driving global energy demand. And that energy demand primarily comes from fossil fuels, which is contributing to global climate change.
You need to have sustainable energy generation, which I think is going to be primarily wind and solar. And then you combine that with stationary storage, which is needed because of the intermittent nature of renewable energy generation. And then the third piece of the equation is electric transport. So if you have all three of those pieces, then you have a complete solution for the future, and then we have a good future.
Over the next 13 years or so, are going to disrupt all of energy and transportation as we know it. And it's going to happen for purely economic reasons.
Cheap is expensive, and in the long run, expensive is cheap. This is true of our city economies too. If our businesses and industries run on old fuel-guzzling equipment, we won't remain competitive for long.
The power sector is in a state of change. It's moving from a traditional model where most countries had state-owned monopoly industries to a position where we see much more competition, private sector coming in, and huge challenges across the continent in making up the backlog of not having enough power. 2 out of 3 Africans still are without electricity.
Imagining what we want will lead us to do what we imagine. The sun shines enough energy on us to satisfy global demand 15,000 times over. Now is the time for imagination. Imagine switching on possibility instead of problems. How do we get there? We need to take responsibility for our choices and for our cities.
This is a disruptive technology at work. There is no way that, that any of these other sources of energy can compete with solar. Not in the short term, not in the long term.
Solar Turtle builds solar-powered energy kiosks. These are modified shipping containers that use fold-out solar panels to track the sun and harvest its energy during the day. At night, the panels fold back into the container and can be securely stored. The kiosk can house and power small businesses, as well as providing electricity for use at home through our rechargeable milk bottle batteries.
More money, more investment, more R&D is going into the improvement of batteries, which, if anything, will make the clean disruption happen even faster than even I anticipate. The internal combustion engine automobile is 17 to 21% efficient. So essentially, 80% of the gasoline in the tank or diesel goes up in smoke. The electric vehicle is about 95% efficient. No technology in history has ever been adopted on a linear basis, ever. It gets adopted as an S-curve. Once you hit that tipping point and it gets adopted, it grows exponentially, super exponentially, in weeks, in months, in a few years. And this is how disruptions happen, because people look at it and they're like, it's only 1-2% of the market, and then boom, it's 80% of the market in no time.
When we imagine roads, what could we see? Imagine railways linking with roads, buses with taxis, bike racks at stations, scooter lanes, canals, and pedestrian ways.
It's about energy. It's about rethinking the operating system itself. We have a fantastic opportunity to open new perspectives and new horizons. Instead of remaining trapped in the frustrations of the present, with creativity and innovation, we really can rethink and redesign our future.
The crisis we face in our cities needs government, business, and industry, all of us to make new choices. And so, I want to leave you with questions, not answers. What is the choice you're facing today? What inspires you about your role in our city's future? And what is the possibility you came here to create?